Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! On February 16th, 2018, where were you at? I was sitting at home so excited for the premiere of Zombies because I knew it was going to go on to hold a special place in each and every one of our hearts, and it was going to give me something special to talk about. And over the years, Zombies would go on to exceed all of my expectations as a fan, because when I record these videos, I speak from the perspective of a fan. I don't ever want to come off as a journalist or a critic. I just want to come off as being a fan of Descendants of Zombies, because I think that's where the greater appreciation has always come from every fan of Descendants of Zombies, because you guys know who and what you love when it comes to Meg Donnelly, when it comes to Freya Skye, when it's forever come to Kylie Cantrell. You guys have shown so much love and support for your favorite stars, and that's what's defined you for being the greatest niche in the world. As far as I'm concerned, Descendants of Zombies has the greatest fans in the world, and there is no other niche that I would love to provide commentary for the rest of my life than Descendants of Zombies, and that's why I've gone on to record hundreds of videos of Descendants of Zombies with my thoughts, my predictions in them, because I love sharing these stories with each and every one of you. It may have involved me moving into a house near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could explode at any given moment. I know that sounds really crazy, but that's what I did, because I think that in order for one to record videos about Descendants of Zombies, they not only have to talk about Descendants of Zombies, he or she has to live their life like they're living the Descendants of Zombies experience. And that's what made these videos so fun, is that I could not only just talk about Descendants of Zombies, I would go on to have the honor to meet so many wonderful people who had attended the Worlds Collide tour, who had caught the premiere of Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires, making 2025 an unforgettable summer, an unforgettable year for me, because I will think back on all the memories that we created together because of this YouTube channel for fans of Descendants of Zombies, because together we created something special. This never began because I just started uploading videos at Descendants of Zombies at random. This happened because people were showing up my door every year on Halloween, dressed up as their favorite Descendants characters, telling me to stop being such a loser and create videos for Descendants of Zombies fans. And after taking it under consideration, you guys really gave me a second chance to be heard and seen by more people than ever before. Because of you guys, more people on YouTube know who Jonathan Clarke on YouTube is, and this really has been perceived as the greatest honor of my life. I think that way too many people just talk about Descendants of Zombies because they see an opportunity to criticize something. So when it comes to TMZ and PerezHilton.com, I've never really paid much attention to that, and I've pretty much taken Perez Hilton's opinion and TMZ's opinion and threw it out the window, because your opinion is what matters every single time. Your predictions that you have made for Descendants of Zombies is what makes this so fun. I've always loved hearing your stories about mermaids. I've always found time in appreciating your stories and predictions you've made about pirates, because I think that adds so much unpredictability to the Descendants of Zombies franchise, more unpredictability than ever before, especially when it comes to the love story about Victor and Nova, which we found time in appreciating and very quickly fell in love with. I think that if you were going to give the responsibility to any two specific people to carry on the legacy of the Descendants of Zombies franchise when it came to characters like Zed and Edison, who for over 7 years undeniably held a very special place in each and every one of our hearts, and they will never ever be forgotten because of their contributions. I think when it comes to two people to carry on the legacy of the Zombies franchise, it would have to be given to Freya Skye and Malachi Burton, whose friendship has really been put on display for the obvious reasons. And when you think about why people have fallen in love with this story so quickly, it's because of just how perfect they seem to fit together. They're like glue, and they've become inseparable over the years because of just this project providing them with a tremendous opportunity to become more widely known and more appreciated by more people than perhaps ever before. I think their friendship has always been put on display for the obvious reasons, and they love each other so much for the obvious reasons because they just fit perfectly together, and everything seems to make perfect sense when it comes to Freya Skye and Malachi Burton. And I think a lot of people have chosen to criticize that because they haven't really taken time to really appreciate this friendship for what it is. I say this because this friendship and these friendships never really seem to happen for everybody every day, and they're of extreme rarity. And I think that the chemistry has really been off the charts because of just how appreciative they are of every moment they've spent together. They've been seemingly on a magic carpet ride for forever, and I think these are two people that we just very quickly fell in love with for the obvious reasons. And I think that more YouTube creators should take the chance to really review Freya Skye and really review Malachi Burton and talk about it for what it's worth. It's really a beautiful love story that we are so excited to learn more about, and as we learn more about it, I think more people are going to gradually fall in love with Freya Sky and Malachi Burton, and find time in appreciating this story than perhaps ever before. I think that the contributions of Meg Donnelly and Mila Manheim's character Zen Edison will never ever be forgotten, and I am a guy who really refuses to let go of this love story. I've always had this issue with saying goodbye to popular franchises like High School Musical and Hannah Montana. But you know, the more I think about franchises like Hannah Montana and High School Musical, really what saw the most success for Hannah Montana and High School Musical was the music. Because could you ever remember a storyline for Hannah Montana? Every once in a while they would have a two-part series or a three-part miniseries with guest appearances by the Jonas Brothers and crossover opportunities for Wizards of Waverly Place and Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I know because I was there for it, and I experienced things like Wish Gotta Miss and Hannah Montana, That's So Sweet Life specials, what have you. But could you ever remember a storyline that made you feel appreciative of being a fan of Hannah Montana? What Hannah Montana prided herself on years ago, many moons ago, was her music. If not for the music, you take the music out of the storylines of Hannah Montana, what storylines would be created and presented? Not much of a chance really was taken on Hannah Montana. What prided Hannah Montana off her success was the music. And if you take that away, you don't really have much to really fall back on. But when it came to Descendants and Zombies, you not only had powerful music, but you also had a powerful story backing it. In Zombies 2, werewolves had entered the story, and it made it a very unpredictable story, because that's when Addison really started to struggle with her position in life, and she was really trying to find her place in a world where it was very difficult on times to achieve acceptance. But I think it was just the understanding of the characters and just how appreciative they were of every moment they got to spend around each other, because it was not only just the cast that was appreciative of these moments. It was everybody who was a part of the project, from the creative team to the directors to the writers, the producers. Everybody was so appreciative of the people they had surrounded themselves with and the opportunity to create something special that so many people drew inspiration from. And it came in so many emphatic ways, because you guys developed passions for collecting dolls, collecting Descendants of Zombie sweaters and hoodies and jackets. It was really beautiful. It kind of reminded me of when Hannah Montana came out with her own jacket line and clothing line years ago, and how proud she was to be a part of that, and the collaboration of the jackets. And I remember how crazy everybody was about the Hannah Montana light-up jackets. That was really cool. And now everybody's just as crazy about the Descendants of Zombies Worlds Collide Tour hoodies and sweaters, and it's just really awesome having the opportunity to understand how people really feel about this franchise. And I wish more YouTube creators would take themselves up on the opportunity to really experience Descendants of Zombies for what it's worth. It's really an instant classic that we really very quickly fell in love with because of these powerful characters and what they had found themselves through, because they were very fearless, they were very defiant on times, and they wanted to achieve something far greater than I think a lot of critics ever expected them to. And Descendants of Zombies would go on to exceed all my expectations as a reviewer on YouTube, because I've reviewed many different concepts that sometimes I really didn't understand, but I had a whole lot of fun reviewing it. But I've never received such a huge response for every video that I've ever uploaded quite like I have for Descendants of Zombies. Your guys' love and support that I've received for every video that I've ever uploaded on this YouTube channel is unprecedented and unlike anything that I've ever been a part of. And I know that no matter what happens to me where I go from here after being a YouTube creator, which has been very successful because of each and every one of you having everything to do with your guys' love and support, I will never, ever forget the profound impact that Descendants of Zombies had on my heart. You know, one of the things I was looking forward to this holiday season more than anything else in the world was having the opportunity to have these conversations with you guys about Descendants of Zombies and telling you this story over and over again, if not 1,000 times over, because I've told this story about Descendants of Zombies so many times over the years, and each time that I tell it very differently from the previous time that I had told the story, I fall more in love with it, and I feel more intrigued and a part of something special, which is something that I've always wanted to have the opportunity to do. I've always wanted to have the opportunity to be a part of something special, and you guys have allowed me to be your voice of Descendants of Zombies too. I've been a part of each and every one of your lives, and it's something that I will never ever forget. Because once you fall into a niche as supportive as Descendants of Zombies, it is something that you will never ever forget for the profound impact that it has on your life. Because in all honesty, guys, Descendants of Zombies really has changed my outlook for the foreseeable future. It's really given me something to be excited to be a part of for 2026, because we have Descendants 5 Book of Wonderland to look ahead to. And I think a lot of people are really excited, judging by all the predictions you guys are making about what kind of storylines will be presented. Now, that Red has a sister, played by Leah Money Segura from High School Musical, the musical series fame. I was a huge fan of High School Musical, the series, and I was a huge fan of the original High School Musical trilogy. So I'm just as excited to see what Leah Money Segura will offer to the franchise Descendants as a character, because more storylines than ever before will have a chance to be presented with new characters always being introduced into the Descendants franchise. It always presents us with a new opportunity to explore new chapters and new horizons. And I think that people are closing the book on Descendants way too early without even giving it much of a chance, because I don't think a lot of people who review Descendants and Zombies have ever really understood what this franchise means to a global audience. It's really had a profound impact on so many hearts, and just take it from this guy's perspective, it's really changed my life, because it's given me the honor not only to talk about Descendants and Zombies, but being so many wonderful fans and touch the hearts of so many different age demographics. It's really a huge opportunity for me, because in 2025, I honestly thought my radio career and my YouTube career as a YouTuber was over. And I never ever thought that I would be taken seriously by anybody ever before, because years ago, I was pretty much just behind-the-scenes producer for radio shows and stuff. So pretty much my role was to develop questions and email questions to hosts of shows, and they would pretty much just read off a script that I had pre-written for them. And it was only years later that I had the opportunity to actually host my own YouTube show from 2009 and beyond, and become known and be heard by more people, and actually be taken seriously by people for my opinions about Descendants and Zombies, for the way that I could tell a story and separate my videos from everybody else who ever elaborated or went in depth about Descendants and Zombies. But you know something, seriously guys, I don't think anybody's really ever gone in depth like I do about Descendants and Zombies, or talked about it in such detail, because I think that grave detail has been lacking from videos about Descendants and Zombies, because the majority of these videos that you're watching on YouTube every day pretty much are just comprised of AI. 7 to 12 minute long AI videos that are giving you false hope for the future of Zombies 5 and Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland, saying this is going to happen or this is going to happen. I think that they're pretty much just jumping to what I refer to as formidable conclusions, and that's something that I've really hated for having to do, and I've kind of shied away from that, because I think that there are way too many predictions being made that really have never really made any sense to the Descendants and Zombies fans. Because the best predictions that could ever be made about Descendants and Zombies that should be taken into consideration are you guys, because you guys know who and what you love. Obviously, we know that the upcoming Zombies 5 script is going to have something to do with the water, regardless if it's mermaids or not. We just don't know what's inside of this vortex and what has yet to be revealed. What's forthcoming for Zombies makes us more excited than ever before to fall in love with this franchise and to be fans of it in the forthcoming future. And to be honest with each and every one of you guys, I don't know what's inside of this vortex. I'm the only guy crazy enough on YouTube to voluntarily offer to jump inside of this vortex to uncover its mystery and come back and tell you guys if I would live to tell about it. I just went to see Five Nights at Freddy's 2 just last night in the dark, and it was really spooky and really scary, but I lived to tell about it. So if I can go through Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and live to tell about it, and live near a soda plantation and a chemical plant, if I'm crazy enough to do that, then I would go through with jumping through a vortex just to uncover its mystery, because it's really exciting, and because opportunities like this never seem to present themselves far enough in a lifetime, and because we only have one life to live. For sure, I would jump inside of a vortex just to uncover its mystery, and I would have a whole lot of fun doing it. This project looks so fun to be a part of, and I would love to be on the set of Descendants and Zombies just to have the chance to meet these stars and get to know them for the people that they are. Many of you know that I have the biggest crush in the world on Ruby Rose Turner. She is my favorite Disney star of all time. I very quickly fell in love with Ruby Rose Turner from the very first moment I saw her on that show Coop and Cammy Ask the World, which was a TV series that I seriously thought was going to become Disney's answer to iCarly, which had so much years of success for Nickelodeon and Dan Schneider. We all remember iCarly and how much of a profound impact it had on our hearts from 2007 to its finale in 2012, and they rebooted it a couple of years ago. But I was always a fan of the original series, so I thought that Coop and Cammy Asked the World, either that one or Bizaardvark, it was a toss-up between the two to become Disney's answer for iCarly. And I remember being such a huge fan of Ruby Rose Turner's character, Cammy Rather, on that show, and then seeing her go from that to having more opportunities on shows like Fuller House and Eden on Netflix and eventually Descendants was huge for me, because I think Not enough opportunities like this were ever presented to Ruby Rose Turner. And when Ruby finally got the opportunity to bring a character like Bridget to life and really put a greater emphasis on just how much further kindness can really take a person in this lifetime, I think that's when people really started to take Ruby more seriously and just really understood how passionate she was about bringing these characters to life. Because you never really understand how much of a profound impact bullying can have on a person. And the reality of life is, the harsh reality of life is, this happens to somebody every day that we never seem to give enough credit for people having to go through. But I think these are people that we have more respect for at the end of every single conversation because of what they're having to endure and what they have to go through. And that's why kindness really takes a person farther in this lifetime. And you guys have helped me spread an emphatic message of kindness through every video that I've ever uploaded about Descendants of Zombies, because I consider this an honor and a privilege to sit in front of this camera every day in front of this microphone and push record. I may never know what I'm about to say in every video that I record, but that's what makes these videos so fun, is that you yourself never know what you're going to say to a global audience or how you're going to be received. But you guys have fallen in love with every video that I've ever uploaded. You guys have never failed to hit my subscribe and my like button, with countless likes and countless numbers of subscribers coming into this YouTube channel every day and happening for it. We are approaching our latest milestone of over 100,000 subscribers. We will celebrate that in just under 2 weeks. So that's going to be really cool when we finally hit the 100,000 view milestone, and I have each and every one of you to thank for that, because I could have never done this by myself. And realizing that I've accumulated over 100,000 views on this YouTube channel, it is an honor in its own right and really a privilege, because I never thought this would happen for one moment for this YouTube channel, but obviously it has, because you guys love Descendants of Zombies so much, and I have each and every one of you to thank for that. So thank you so much early on for the 100,000 views, and if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you should probably think about doing that. Go ahead and get that out of the way right now, because we have so much to get into about Descendants of Zombies. I have the SpongeBob SquarePants, the Search for SpongeBob SquarePants coming up on the weekend, the latest SpongeBob SquarePants red carpet premiere that I will be attending. So that's the biggest thing I've got going on this weekend. So other than that, I think there's no better way to spend your weekend, this upcoming weekend, than by spending the holidays with each and every one of you and discussing Descendants of Zombies further than ever before, and going further than any YouTube creator has ever gone before. I got to do this with the echo. Further than any YouTube creator has ever gone before. And not to forget to mention the fact that I would love to upload videos about Descendants of Zombies for you guys for the rest of my life, which I actually would love the opportunity to do, because there is no more supportive niches out there than Descendants of Zombies. Descendants of Zombies, as far as I'm concerned, is the most incredibly supportive and most dedicated niche to who and what they love. And because of the respect that you guys have shown for Descendants of Zombies, you guys have deserved far better reviews when it comes to Descendants of Zombies for a very long time. And forgive me, but I just wanted to be that guy to come through for you guys every single time. I wanted to be your hero when it came to Descendants of Zombies, your voice of Descendants of Zombies, because you guys obviously have an opinion that you've never been afraid to share with the world, and because you've never been afraid to share your opinions with the world, then I think it's about time somebody hosted a podcast that was actually dedicated to coming through with the best videos of Descendants of Zombies for you guys for a very long time. And it's about time somebody did that for you guys, showing the same heart and dedication that you've had for your favorite characters and these defining moments that have made you fans of Descendants of Zombies. Guys, I am so proud to be the host of a show that is the most popular Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel in the world right now, and it has everything to do with your outpouring of love and support that you've had for every video that I've ever had the honor of uploading, because this is an honor, this is a privilege, and because these are moments that are only ever meant to happen once through every lifetime, these are moments that should be celebrated, and I look forward to having these conversations and celebrating these moments with you each and every single day. And we still have a long way to go, because for those of you who believe or have believed that these stories, when it comes to Zed and Addison and Red and Chloe from Descendants, are far from over, then perhaps you should continue on believing in that, because we still have a long way to go and many more conversations yet to be had that have forever and always remained to be had, and stories that have been left untold for far long enough. These conversations that we have to get through on this YouTube channel, we still have a long way to go before now and the Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland premiere, because it will happen sometime between now and July 2026. We have no official word on the release date for Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland, but as it gets closer, we will have more information to pass along for you on this podcast. So if you have not subscribed here to this YouTube channel, channel. You're probably going to want to go ahead and get that out of the way right now because we have so much to get into as we spend the holiday season with each and every one of you, and we look ahead to a very productive year for Descendants of Zombies because we have so much happening. We have Descendants 5 going on up and coming. We have possibly leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour to look ahead to and discuss. So we've got so much to get into, and I would love for you guys to be a part of this conversation because we still have a long way to go because this story is far from over, and I think more people than ever before should take a chance on believing in that, because when you believe in that, the possibilities are really endless because we still have a long way to go, and I have never felt more honored to have been your voice of Descendants of Zombies. Guys, seriously, from my heart to yours, thank you so much for choosing this YouTube channel every single time as your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel. It has been an honor of mine to be in your guys' presence to discuss Descendants of Zombies. Thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel and making Jonathan Clarke on YouTube your favorite YouTube blogger. Thank you guys so much for that, because Descendants of Zombies pretty much has become a way of life. We are going to die, Descendants of Zombies fans. We are diehard about Descendants of Zombies because this conversation has never been over, because it's never had to be over. And we still have a long way to go, and it's a future that I'm incredibly excited to be a part of. Guys, thank you so much for having watched this video.